you're now part of that group and being recognized for all of the great work that you've done with Elton, but also with Starship, who some of them are inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well. I believe you had a collaboration with Willie, who's going in with
Yep.
you this year. What was your first thought on getting the news that you're being elected to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Well, my age, I'm not sure excited is the right word. I think it's more grateful is the best adjective I would use. Um, it's an interesting thing about awards. I think if you don't get them, sometimes you tend to be a little cynical. And then when you start accumulating them, you go, "Oh, this is not bad. This is nice. This is nice." So I guess you could say this is probably one of the last pieces on my bucket list.
Yeah, you've have received so many other recognitions, and then to have this one come, one, it's highly appropriate, first of all, and well deserved. When you got the news, was there any one person you thought of? Who did you think of first when you got the news?
Well, I think obviously Elton, because he's the main man in my life, and it's an interesting fact. I don't know if you go back as far as this, but when Elton was inducted, and I can't remember the year offhand, but obviously he was inducted. I think the first year he was eligible, and one of the beautiful things of the evening was that he paid tribute to me and brought me up on the stage and actually gave me his award and says, "You deserve this more than me," which was probably a little over the top, and I probably didn't go down too well with certain aspects of the committee. But so I think in many ways, there were certain elements that thought, well, he's got one, so he doesn't need another one in his name. So I don't know if that contributed to any pushback over the years, but obviously he's got his own now, and it's nice to get one with your own name on it.
Yeah, yes, I do recall that moment from video, and it's taken a while, but his endorsement has been validated by a much bigger voting body, and you're part of this.
Well, thank you. And no, I mean, as I say, much appreciated, and I'm certainly in stellar company, and I'm happy that Willie's getting in at the same time. So I won't be the old guy in the group.
You're, some of the earliest influences that brought you to being a writer, and that led you to this life. Is it your family? Is it other bands and musicians? And how do you think they would react to this honor?
If you're referring to people that I sort of came up along with,
Yeah.
like everybody else, I've got influences, and it's funny that you mentioned earlier. You mentioned Willie Dixon. Willie was a great friend of mine, and sort of adopted me as a surrogate son at one point in the last couple of years of his life, and so he was a huge influence on me. I mean, I grew up listening to the music he made, certainly music that was a combination of classic country and urban blues, country blues at the same time. And I think all of that music, along with jazz and pop and the architects of rock and roll, they all had a sort of lasting impression on me, which I think um, has a lot to do with the fact that Elton and I's music has spanned a lot of different genres over the years. I mean, people will pigeonhole us as sort of rock and pop, but if you really dig deeper, you see the influences that we grew up with and paid respect to in the music that we've made over the years. And that for me is the saving grace in the whole the whole ball of wax. I love all kinds of music. I mean, I'm a bit of a diehard jazz fan, but classic rock and classic country and classic blues and being able to touch the hem of the garments of people that sort of were instrumental in lighting the blue touch paper in my life, to be that's probably the ultimate compliment, to be in the same sort of um, organization that they're in, to be in that conglomerate is a pretty amazing fact when you actually sit down and think about it.
Yeah. That was very well said, and I appreciate that you slipped in a little Sam Cooke reference as well. Uh, you know, yeah, that's a
No,
great.
music has always been the driving force in my life. I mean, the arts in general, but the roots, my roots go deep, and the roots go all the way back to my earliest teenage years. I was lucky to be inducted into not just what was current, but where the roots of it all came from. And I was lucky because I grew up in an area of England where it was hard to find that kind of music. And through certain degrees of kismet, I met people that by chance turned me on to some of the things that normally kids of my generation where I grew up wouldn't have been privy to. And so I'm thankful to all of those people that came along in my life and pushed me in the right direction musically.
Love it. Yeah, we're a sum total of all of the people we've encountered and the experiences. And were it not for some of those, life would be very different. Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you got the call, what were what did you what was your immediate thought?
Wow. Okay. I'm down with that. No problem. Yeah, as I say, I'm a little long in the tooth to get overly excited, but as I say, grateful is certainly the best, as I said, the best word I can think of. And hey, I'm thrilled to be a part of it all. And I look forward to being there and seeing all my fellow inductees.